Thanks, Dig.
Anyone plus 500 and getting into this.
Killing niggas a hobby to me.
Count. Trying bridge for the very first time. Plus knowing Grandma's on here.
Grandma.
Or meeting other intelligent life forms. Plus, being able to communicate with them. Like your children. Or jumping off a cliff. Plus having wings. For me,
It's like catching your parent in a maze.
stop right there.
You got the views you were after. Hey, you're crying to the subs, Pally. Guess who's waking up over here? Time to cash out. Get it over with. Cons like Fallout 4. But I ain't a fake. Big.
Oh.
Clicked on your last video, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this review. From where you're viewing, it must seem like an 18 carat run of bad
Look,
clickbait.
who the fuck just shot me?
Truth is, New Vegas was awesome from the start.
The fuck?
Fallout series is easily one of the most recognized and beloved in all of gaming. Its nihilistic tone, diverse characters, and vast involved with deep
Yeah.
history and lore, Fallout defines the word
Bitch.
nuclear. I mean, just look at how cute Vault Boy is. Fallout's also unique because it's really funny and cheerful at times.
Try not to smile so wide, baby. You might break your mouth.
You know, because post-apocalyptic stories aren't usually happy.
Gills don't.
But in Fallout, you got this really dark sense of humor.
Stop! What the fuck are you doing? My brother died in the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
You're a little bitch and your brother was too.
Oh, now it's on!
To truly appreciate what an accomplishment New Vegas is, you gotta head down to the Strip, baby. Where are people able to put thousands of hours into this single-player game? How is the combat customization and RPG mechanics? Why is the story and characters so captivating? Vegas a world worth diving into? And why did this snazzy-looking man just shoot me in the face? Let's patrol the Mojave Wasteland, grab our pit boy, and then our last delivery kid. Straight into this.
That light is dead, caught off guard and left for dead. Luck keeps turning as the light begins to go.
With the first two Fallouts releasing in back-to-back years, it would take another 10 and a complete buyout of the IP from Bethesda to turn Fallout into what it is today. Which,
That wasn't supposed to happen. I
Go
started
back.
the game.
Go back. How do I turn this thing off? Most people entered the franchise with 3, considered one of the GOATs, but for some hardcore fans, Fallout 3 was missing something that 2 and 1 had.
Yeah, whatever, asshole.
Regardless, it's difficult for any developer to snatch a series away from its creators and still keep the same feeling and identity. Often we end up with something that feels like a knockoff. Other times the world is tortured with the release of something like, believe it or not, Fallout already has a cheap knockoff. Called 76. Honestly.
Big Mountain, I, Dr. Mobius, will soon control you and all of science.
There was room for improvement. And while Bethesda was busy developing the only good game they've released in the next few years, in 2008, they reached out to Obsidian with an exceptional offer. So, you want us to make a sequel to Fallout 3, Codman Boy? That's right, but here's the catch, baby. You got 18 months, dig? 18 months? Are you mad? You better get an 85 on Metacritic or else you won't be getting a bonus. And you ain't a big car yet. Bitch, don't you know how long this takes?
We wanted to make sure when looking at mechanics for the game that we weren't trying to like Fallout 3. Not a lot of people like Fallout 3. So the experience should feel familiar to them.
Obsidian didn't have time to reinvent the wheel. What we ended up with was more like a spin-off. We've been playing almost identical on Bethesda the contract and the studio fitter for the job. Coincidentally, Obsidian made up of men who worked on the original. Clearly, this was a team that understood Fallout's identity. And that
Fucking bitch.
Bethesda is really struggling with nowadays. Obsidian also made Knights of the Old Republic 2, which, if you're following the pattern here, was also a sequel to a critically acclaimed game that for some reason was given less than 2 years to develop. Both New Vegas and KOTOR 2 were extremely ambitious and fantastic writing, large in part due to Chris Analog. This dude deserves way more recognition. To make anything halfway decent in the game industry typically takes 2 to 3 years. This is how Obsidian just pulled it together on New Vegas, just as they did before. So without even getting a glance at Scott Mitchell's fantastic mustache, New Vegas is already an accomplishment simply because it exists. Fallout New Vegas has been the most requested review on this channel for the last 2 years, large in part due to the efforts of the Nth Star Trooper.
Patrolling the Mojave Waste almost makes you wish for not to do away with Vegas souls.
I see.
Patrolling the Mojave Waste makes you wish for patrolling the Mojave Waste.
I warned you to be quiet.
Patrolling the Mojave Waste.
Shut up. Will you shut up?
Only after I put 50 hours into New Vegas and stood atop Hoover Dam waving the flag of a two-headed bear did I finally understand why so many people love this game. Vegas wastes no time in pulling you in, as the soothing voice of Frank Sinatra massages you. You see some troopers waving flags on the dazzling streets. Some robots go by, and then...
Over 6.
Priority 1.
You see a different group of troopers head into the city. The camera pans out further to a remote location near the ultimate grave.
Remember.
Ron Perlman gives us the juicy backstory. Atomic War, Vaults, and everyone who emerged to form tribes in the wasteland. We catch a glimpse of the two most important locations, Hoover Dam and a city untouched by nuclear fallout. Narration might lead most everyone to believe who the good guys and bad guys are. Vegas plays with a stacked deck, baby. This is one of its many tricks. More importantly, opening sparks no shortage of questions and sets the player on a journey for answers. Who was this man and his accomplices? Told you that mohawk looked good. Why did he want us dead? Can I get that suit? What were we delivering and to who? Find out next time on Fallout Balls. Vegas gives you just the tastiest slice of everything it has to offer over the next 40 hours in roughly 5 minutes. So having been shot in the head and left for dead in an unmarked grave, you, the courier, death.
How about that?
My head. I think I stopped playing video games for a day.
Whoa, easy there. Easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now.
My name? Acting Mailman.
Can't say it's not. Favorite.
You didn't just take a bullet out of my head and kick your ass, Doc.
we know about this guy? He's rich. He's recluse. He's a.
There's a lot of angles to this caper. Complexities aplenty.
It's time for one of the best character creators in
The
gaming.
eye of Mobius sees you.
I'm in suit.
You're no match for Slanyon.
Really powerful. My knowledge, it's the only time you hear it. Dr. Mustache wants to know who you made in League of Legends, what sort of playstyle you prefer. He does this by asking you if he's on some fine art. Now that definitely appears like Friday. But this is such a great way to make it a player. The world of New Vegas is nice by the vast stretches of the top wasteland.
This one?
But what provides the players' experience in that wasteland is how they build their character. Vegas is great at this work. Joyce. Immediately I could tell there were tons of deep mechanics, so much so that it's very overwhelming in the beginning. Maybe my parents didn't put enough points into my intelligence, but starting a character is pretty daunting. What's this? How does bats work? What does crippling limbs do? How in Easy Pete's name do I hack terminals? No, seriously, what am I supposed to do? Why does my gun only fire when it feels like it?
I don't really feel like it.
If you're new to Fallout and trying to understand how everything works right from the start, just play it. Fake it till you make it. You'll get the hang of things. Unless you're stupid like me and didn't know how to equip different ammo types until 35 hours in. Nor did I ever use a workbench to do anything besides recycle ammo. That's when I had a revelation. It got me thinking, how many ways I wasn't using the sandbox and tools around me? What quests did I miss? Which areas did I never visit? What else is this game?
I seem to escape me.
Questions that have no doubt led me to put thousands of hours in a single-player game.
All my minions, sting them in the name of all.
A lot of RPGs fall into the pit of focusing too much on the numbers based. How is your light not in? Nobody cares, Sabala. You don't like light? Most first-person shooters don't have RPG mechanics, and those that do are often pretty shallow about it. New Vegas caters to fans of RPGs and shooters because you can play the numbers game if you really want to whoop ass. You'll survive a wasteland if you don't. What makes New Vegas special, pun intended, is just how many ways you can play it. This is where all the different skills and special stats come in. These will do things like get you better prices in shops, repair weapons easier, or do you want to blow shit up and send people's limbs flying across the desert? Want to be a skilled marksman who snipes from a distance? You can do that. But what about the perks, baby? Let's do a little comparison. This is how many perks were in the original Fallout. Here's 2. This is 3. 4. And this is how many perks are in New Vegas. Some perks will give you unique dialogue options.
That's something I seem really good.
Help you better in the dark, give you an extra special point, allow you to tame animals. A lot of perks are going to be based on your playstyle. Let's say you want to sell a bunch of stuff but are tired of managing your inventory. Well, there's a perk that lets you fast travel while you're over encumbered. So just head to Good Springs, drop all that good shit off, bing bang boom, you're on your way. This is how perks are supposed to be in role-playing games. Not just a number boost, but you should be unlocking a part of the game that you couldn't previously use. Fallout 3, you can become a godlike being and excel in absolutely every category. Vegas forces you to create a more specific playstyle. You know, in other games where you can convince people to jump off a cliff or kill their best friend, you know, some fun stuff.
No!
But even in one of my all-time favorites, whether or not you convince people to do good or bad things is determined by a single stat. So if you put points into that, you can breeze through every conversation. New Vegas is different. It's genius. Because while there is a speech stat that handles most of those conversations, sometimes you need to be an expert in another area. You don't know squat about explosives, Easy Pete won't help you out. And then what are you going to do?
Today, Howard, blow yourself up, blow your name wrong, blow the whole town.
At some point or another, every skill has an influence on dialogue. Something or another.
More accidents for executives only. Please identify.
I got you. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Literally cannot experience everything New Vegas has to offer in a single playthrough. If you put all your points in a lockpicking, you can open everything, but you can't convince this kid to buy drugs from you, and that's a real tragedy.
Redford, never touch it.
It's give you positive and negative
Activating
points.
special attack routine.
They're going to severely affect your playstyle. Best of all, if you pick Wild Wasteland, you get to fight aliens and see all sorts of crazy stuff. Often in RPGs, at some point your character becomes so overpowered, it takes all the decision-making out of leveling up, because you're going to kick the game's ass whether or not you can be noticed underwater. Every time I leveled up in New Vegas, I took a solid 5 minutes to look over my options. Breaks. Challenges. All these mechanics work together in harmony. That's why this game has such a satisfying progression and fair challenge. What's that? Oh yeah, I guess you're still in the tutorial. Well, thanks for the Pip-Boy, Doc. Hope I don't come back to kill you later.
Blue crispy golden 100% positive. Better than one. Fact.
So you can do the little things that make Christmas special, order online from Woolworths, and we'll deliver direct to your booth that same day for free. Merry Christmas. Another way we're helping you get your wings off.
And now, friends, let the great journey into the Mojave Wasteland begin. Patrolling the Mojave Wasteland almost makes you wish New Vegas would stop. Normally it'd be a lot more critical of what in the goddamn do I really gotta talk about?
The desert sands and ruined
It wasn't a stupid decision to make this game in 18 months. Whoever decided to stop patching New Vegas, you gave it a bad rap. Right? I at least gotta lower your standards. But if I have to use mods to make something playable, I'm sorry, but you lost karma with me. New Vegas is far from a perfect game, and that's what is so tragic. Let's say it was remastered and played on a new engine, bam. Just like that, it's in the conversation for top 20 time. Bethesda's legacy is so inescapable that even when they commission other people to make games for them, they're still bugs, and not just air.
Hey, that one sucked!
Writing, combat, world design, music, everything else is perfect. That's the thing. All of my problems with New Vegas are on the technical level. Would have been nice to spruce up the animations, improve the visuals, make the AI better.
Wait here. What happened?
I imagine the jankiness, crashing, and lack of polish were all due to the rush deadline. So if you can bite your tongue when the game inevitably crashes, if you can look past the technical problems that you really should, well, fine. Is it experience? No. So your first goal is to track down the kid who shot you and also find out who these two goons are. Answers lie in New Vegas. If you talk to folks around Good Springs, they'll tell you how to play the game. And this series of quests introduces you to every single mechanic, and it's brilliant. You get to barter with a merchant, talk to an explosives expert, repair a radio, there's a terminal you can hack, learn about karma and fame, there's some echoes and menaces to kill. The starting area of Good Springs offers something useful for every single skill, and that informs the player. Hey, this is what you can do with this talent. But shucks, we need some conflict. Turns out there's a fierce rivalry between the local powder gangers and the citizens of Good Springs. Identical setup to the final quest. You're given two options. If you defend the town, you need to visit each person and rally them together. But convincing them to fight requires a different skill. That's just good game design. The tutorial ensures that no matter how any person creates their character, they'll be useful in some way. The other choice is to side with the powder gangers and kill everyone. You're teaching me how to shoot a rifle, Sonny. Those are the type of gut-wrenching choices the player has to make. What Vegas Mojave Wasteland. It really is.
Looking for a pat on the back. My mother is dead.
At this point, you'll likely head to Prim and follow the main quest. That's the obvious direction you're given. Don't you want to find Big Dick Ben? Yes, I do, but the people of Prim need me to find a new sheriff. Restore order to lawless land.
The Kaiser has marked you for dead. The Legion obeys.
But of course, an ambush by Legion ruffians. They destroyed me. This, I've stumbled across a bitter rivalry between the NCR and the Great Khan.
We got a situation.
Soldier, I shall negotiate with their chieftain. Oh, one of the guys.
That courier Benny wasted that goods.
You're supposed to be dead!
I don't know.
Wait a minute. What if I wanted to go back? All the way back? Is it possible to head directly to the strip right from the start? Obsidian discovered the secret to eternal replayability. Most of the factions and quest lines in New Vegas can be accessed at any point.
Was that meant to be a shocking revelation?
There's never a moment where you get handed a quest and some nutsack is like, "Excuse me, I won't unless you're level 13. None of that. This gives the player an enormous amount of control over the events of the game, and what order they play out. If you know the way, you can skip right to the second act, but the route to do so is much less obvious and more dangerous.
Why are you running?
That ensures only experienced gamers will know how to get there right away. I completed entire subplots before even being asked to. Alright, listen, Trooper. If we're gonna defeat Caesar's Legion, I killed him already. Yeah, he said mark my words. I killed him. Well, you're gonna have to recruit the boomers to our side. A group of explosive experts who will kill anyone that gets near their base. He already made it over there. Well, come on. What can I say? The boomers love me. For the Battle of Hoover Dam, you have to visit the Brotherhood of Steel and boomers at Dallas. I just happened to cross these places. It's not just the order.
Continued resistance.
Exploring the Mojave so
This is a lawful use of deadly force.
quest design itself.
Kernels of Fallout is about giving players at least 3 ways to solve each problem.
Make your home more secure inside and out with our security, featuring motion-activated smart devices. Thus, our expert vote team also offers hassle-free
Commencing attack
return
on
restoration.
hostile target.
Designed to smart up your
Put
home
down
security
your weapons and
For instance, the Brotherhood of Steel questline, you're told to get rid of an NCR trooper that's stalking them by convincing him to leave or killing him.
Thanks for the information. Saved my life.
Next, you have to recover 3 lost holotapes in 3 locations and can do so in any order. But then you have a choice between showing the contents of those tapes to Paladin Hardin or by giving them to McNamara. Hardin wants the Brotherhood to continue exploring the wasteland and realize the Brotherhood's true potential. McNamara wants to keep everyone locked down and safe during this pandemic. You notice how every single quest in this game offers the player some kind of choice? You see how it gives you a sense of agency? Fighting with the powder hangers in the fight for victory isn't an obvious option, but even right from the start, New Vegas gives you options. This is what I call the tree-branch quest design, and it has to be the most time-consuming type of quest in the game to fight. This style and apply it to literally every objective in the game is absolutely insane. Cyberpunk was developed over 5 years and it only managed to do this in one single fight. Just to put things in perspective. Here's another example. An ally consumers use the game paying them. Not given a linear series of chores. Then, Pearl says, hey, here's 10 things you can do, but you only gotta do 5. Like helping a dude find a girlfriend, don't vomit from the lake, talking to children, ugh. Listen to the history of the boomers. Come on, there's gotta be a boring quest in here somewhere. No kill ants. There it is. God damn it, even this has layouts. These ants are different from every other ant in the game that they explode if you shoot them with energy weapons. Also, if you have enough repair skill, you can make a sonic emitter that'll kill them all for you. This is the New Vegas secret to eternal replayability. With every storyline consisting of so many different choices and outcomes, it would take hundreds of hours to see and do it all. No quest is ever as straightforward as it seems. One where you're hired as a guard for the Van Graff's weapons store. You have to decide who to let in. If you let this guy in, he's a suicide bomber.
They're all dead.
One of my favorite happens in Camp Perry, where you come across Dr. Hilder. He says, hey buddy, go recover some data from an old vault. There's a lot of plants in there and it's really cool. That sounds like a straightforward.
I thought it was a fairly straightforward.
I just said that. As soon as you walk out the door, his assistant stops you and says, one of the other scientists Hilder sent out there hasn't returned. If you go back to him and ask him with enough speech, he'll tell you he sent at least 8 other people there.
I have no evidence. Some things could have.
What the fuck?
Gee, I wonder if anything weird is going on over at Vault 22. Using this knowledge, you can negotiate for more caps, and just by spending a little bit of extra time talking to people, you learn more about the quest and the story and potential danger, you've gotten a better reward for doing it. See that the plants have grown throughout the entire vault, creating these spore crawlers and other nasty plants. Criminals are scattered you find the missing scientist key and the data. You want to destroy it so that nobody else uses this to weaponize it. And now the motivations of Hilder become clear. Lie to Keely and not force a fight, take the data back to Hilder and just forget about it. Or you can destroy the data and return to him empty-handed. Vegas has so much more going on behind the scenes than they're willing to admit. But if the player is thorough, they can uncover it. It's the most authentic, choose-your-own-adventure story ever told in gaming. Yes, you can kill everyone, except children. That wouldn't be fun. Most of the story is all about who you help and why. But being a selfish asshole and killing everyone is literally always an option too. Man down! That's what's so cool. The game doesn't break if you kill Dr. People. Only your heart will.
I love you!
Vegas has incredible writing and characters, but what makes it dynamic is how the story adjusts to your actions. It is so important that the game has to arbitrarily block you from killing them.
You triggered my trap card!
If you kill Kaisar or the president of the NCR, they still wage war against each other, just led by different people. It's possible to get an ending slideshow where all the main characters narrate their deaths at the hands of the courier. There's a contingency, though. Obviously, the player needs certain information, so oftentimes there's like notes or journals. You should just silence them before. What's awesome is how NPCs react to actions throughout the game.
Many didn't see this. Allegiance aggression outlives. Indeed, they'll try to keep the damned to his memory.
You know that Legion furry Vulpes who we nicked? Well, you're supposed to talk to him later on after you meet Mr. House. But if you kill him, then another Legion guy takes his place and mentions it.
For crimes against the Legion, including the death of the fearless Vulpes and Cool, are hereby forgiven.
Fruity Boom will often make NCR troopers say, wish I had a first recon guy looking after me. Once you get the Platinum ship, you don't even have to talk to Mr. House. You can just straight up murder him. Killing him before anyone asks you to will give unique dialogue that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Now that that's out of the way, let's see. Mr. House was immediately dealt with. Yes. Oh, that reminds me. You might be happy to know that your efforts have gone well.
Well, Vegas, all around you. Here you go. How you build your character, it all matters. Vegas engaging from start to finish. Every playthrough is going to be different. This is the ultimate sandbox game.
Trying to beat the Doonies down.
I don't enjoy
But for all its successes, New Vegas sure does take its sweet time getting to the good stuff.
The right stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think the writing is spectacular, but sometimes I just want to shoot things. So often you'll run into a character, ask a simple question about a man in a checkered suit, and they'll be like, that guy? Let me tell you about my life story first. If you don't explore off the beaten path, you'll be begging for a group of Legionnaires to ambush you. But when things do get rolling, the action's intense. Vegas was able to blend two polar opposite genres together in a way that I don't think any other game has. You got the fast-paced first-person shooter action mixed with the slower, more tactical strategy of a role-playing game. When you slow things down by using pads, almost like swapping to a turn-based game. Mostly kicks ass, combat is often interrupted by the same thing that plagues a lot of Bethesda games. Having a menu that does everything. Want to swap weapons? Pull out the Pip-Boy. Trying to take drugs, kid? Whip out the Pip-Boy. Need to heal? Pip-Boy. If this game ever got remastered, I'd love to have the option to quick select healing items, weapons, and drugs. Dark Souls' quick select item slots are just so perfect. I don't know why games don't do this for combat movement. But games are only as fun as the tools you use and enemies you fight. Real quick, how many different weapons do you think there are in New Vegas? Take a guess. We don't know this. 178.
It's impossible!
Counting unique weapons and DLC, that is straight wild. I felt like every 5 minutes I was finding some cool new piece. It's gotta be challenging to make a hyper-unrealistic setting like the end of the world feel genuine. But they did that. You wanted to make the tech reflect the world around you. So you have modern firearms like M16s, 9mm pistols, stuff that people maybe brought out of the vaults that's considered old world. Then you got makeshift energy weapons, things that people probably made in the 200 years since the Atomic War. Blending futuristic, Western, and modern eras together so successfully is what makes Fallout, well, Fallout. Vegas never had to question if any part of it was realistic or not. Based on your reputation, certain areas can be inaccessible, not without killing everyone. Depending on who you travel with, certain companions will straight up tell you, just so you know, I'll murder each and every one I see. Man, woman, or child. It's great, Boone. I'm gonna leave you here and go strike a deal with Kaiser. You can sneak into these areas by wearing the outfits of each faction. Not to mention every weapon is given a role, and in order to conquer what the game throws at you, you'll have to pack a variety of different weapons. Weapons like the flare gun have unique properties that can scare off animals, others pierce armor better, there's one pistol that calls down a laser from the sky, a mysterious magnum that plays a jam every time you pull it out. The Gatling laser is something Jesus Christ would use, but it burns through ammo like nothing else. Some melee items, like the thermic lance, are good even if you don't dump points into the melee scheme. Boy, that can last long. My playthrough, I rocked everything from grenade launchers to snipers, revolvers, shotguns, plasma rifles, shoulder-mounted machine guns. It's a dance of death, and you are death's curry. But I got a question. What sort of enemies would you create in a game that takes place in a post-nuclear world? Mutated humans, ghouls, giant fire-breathing geckos, two-headed cows, radiated scorpions, dinosaurs? In the Mojave, you're bound to run into some drugged-out creatures. It's such a neat detail that most of the animals are reptiles because reptiles like the desert. More importantly, New Vegas answers the question, what would happen to animals in evolution post-nuclear fallout? That's what the new Cyberpunk didn't just cluster the same enemy type together in 1,000 locations. New Vegas is actually smart where they place the enemies. They're careful not to throw any one type at you too often. So the Mojave is constantly throwing different things at you. Some baddies might seem overpowered, but they all have weaknesses. Where crippling limbs comes into play. Cazadors can close the gap in seconds. Cripple their wings, they are laughable. Knight can use Stealth Boy, so a high perception is required. Now, there is somewhat of an exploit by using a Stealth Boy and just sniping the toughest enemies in the game from afar. But I guess in that case you need to find these things before you can exploit such a strategy. While I love the game, the combat, the weapons, and the enemies, the AI is still pretty basic. I think New Vegas struggles to maintain a strong difficulty curve.
Blah. Blah. Thus.
Lumbering across the west, doing trenches repossessed, resurrect the old soul of America.
If you told me there was a game that combined time periods of ancient Rome, futuristic Western, and World War II era, I'd say that game is probably bad shit crazy. But the last thing I'd imagine is that this combo would actually work. While the writers did a kick-ass job of molding all the factions together in a cohesive world, it's also in the level and world design that Obsidian went above and beyond. They took the setting of Vegas and slapped a post-nuclear skin on it, taking inspiration from new locations right down to the nitty details.
I wanted to sort of immerse myself more in, especially the desert. I took a motorcycle through the desert, basically going all around the outskirts of Vegas.
I mean, they literally toured these areas to build the look and feel of the game. And I think that's why it stands out so much. It's authentic. They actually made a real game because of this game. That's just insane. Now, I gotta be honest, New Vegas is kind of an eyesore for 2010. I can't tell you that it looks much better than Oblivion. There's a lot of gray, dull colors, rust everywhere. It's a wasteland act, man. What do you expect? I don't know. Outside areas look dry and yellow, while the inside of buildings is all gray. But when you see the Lucky 38 shining in the distance, it makes you feel like, hey, there's the city of New Vegas is a shining beacon. While you're dicking around with Cazadors or doing whatever, it's a constant reminder of your home. And by keeping this landmark inside of the player far away, it makes New Vegas seem like a mystical place. It is. But the only locations it still holds a feeling of old world civilization. Because of the setting and different named casinos, it feels like in a sorts, in a state of eerie atmosphere outside. There's one quest where you can recruit people to perform in the Tops Casino, and before you do this, you don't have much text on it. But as you recruit people, you not only get the coolest Magnum in the world, but also the names of the people you brought in. This is one of the many ways the level design changes based on your actions. Vegas proves that you can make against traffic and rate with AI. Out West style saloons, futuristic atomic bomb museums. There's a lot of cool stuff to see and do. Through clever use of landmarks, there's always something interesting off in the distance. Might just make you want to see what that giant dinosaur is all about. Go in and discover a quest. And that's what's so magical about these adventures, but New Vegas in particular. You can pick any direction you want. Eventually you'll find something interesting. Discover stories, locations, and people.
Scattered straight through the Eden, to hide for the words of heaven. Get tinted, love's got scorn.
Howdy folks, it's Mr. New Vegas. Good for you.
Deciding to give this cool had a chance to explain itself. Who would have guessed this new type of figure would come across me and send some hitmen my way? Now, however you choose to deal with Benny, kickstarts the second get a chance to interact with each major player. But we have a big question to answer. Why are politics in video games so bad? Dumb Meme Society in Vegas is the epitome of next level writing.
Nobody's dick's that long.
I think the best games are those that get you on a level. By the end of the story, the player will make a choice of which political and social ideology they put into power. Whether you realize it or not, New Vegas is asking philosophical questions about what the most ideal type of society is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how you put politics into a game and make it interesting.
There are literally 125,000 factions. I'm gonna have to cut some. NCR, there's Caesar's Legion, there's House Club.
Go, my minion! Sting them in the name of...
Things been made clear so far in our travels. This place is fucked.
The eye of Mobius sees you! No match for science!
Army of Securitrons, California Republic, the old soul of America, democratic organization that's internal corruption, a brutal imperialist
Tail locking on!
nation, and independent Watsi Vegas from the other three. It's also made up of smaller but still important groups. Cons, when nomadic tribes, raiders and drug-dealing hippies, Brotherhood of Steel, by a secret society bent on preserving technology and human knowledge, the Boomers, an isolated band of explosive fanatics. Now, Obsidian did a phenomenal job giving personality and backstory to each group. More importantly, Obsidian answers the question, what kind of groups would rise from the ashes in a post-apocalyptic world set around New Vegas? A bunch of Elvis Presley impersonators, that's for sure. The fact is, we don't even know what his name was. This is where New Vegas
Attacked by Dr. Mobius! Zero match for science! You want to destroy this one? I'll make you again!
First, I was like, well, these two are dictatorships, and we need some kind of government so this man is out of the picture. That leaves the NCR. Surely a democracy is the best choice, right?
I love them.
What's that, Colonel? You want me to assassinate the leader of the Great Khans?
I don't enjoy it.
Sounds kind of evil, but... Alright, if it's for the greater good. So there you are, helping to rebuild America. You go back to the Colonel and she says, hey, can you exterminate
Remember the time you forgot to carry the two and nearly blew up the Y-Zero?
No. Good thing I said.
You did!
This decision
What does that mean?
Vegas has such a unique approach to morality. Before, will have compelling reasons for why they should rule, but also have crippling flaws. The new California Republic is the antithesis to the Legion, a revival of old world values like democracy, liberty, freedom, law, and order. But everywhere you go, you hear people complaining about their lack of organization that prevents them from making real changes.
Water rations are the problem, and the NCR doesn't look like it's going to do anything about it anytime soon.
Some say the old world values they parade around are the same ones that led to nuclear war in the first place. Travel, the areas controlled by the NCR are often plagued by raiders, internal conflict, something the Legion doesn't suffer from. The NCR is spread so thin that troopers are constantly requesting your help because they have no reinforcements, no backup, communication. The NCR simply doesn't have the powerful resources to truly unite these groups.
You did?
Hell, they can't even unify themselves.
People turning against it. Opposite risk of falling. Republic's sinkhole progress doesn't kill us. Well,
You can actually use this knowledge to convince the final boss, Legate Linnaeus, to back down on his campaign. NCR also seems to be incapable of negotiating peacefully with groups, instead opting to just kill everyone.
Yeah.
There's a shocking lack of diplomacy and discipline across
I've got it.
I've told him he could make my job a whole lot easier if he would just let me shoot anyone who talks back to me.
This is the woman in charge of interrogating prisoners in a democratic society. And she's a lieutenant. You'd say the
I
NCR
mean,
has good intentions, but it's hard to put weight in the way they operate. The NCR hasn't proven that their type of society will work long term.
As a young man, I was taught to venerate President Kennedy, founding mother of the New Gallup. You know her presidency lasted. Her father, Paradesh, first president. Does that sound like a democracy to you? Proper military dictator.
Caesar's Legion, led by one of the best written characters in gaming, the Legion operates as ancient Rome did. By conquering smaller tribes, destroying their culture, merging everyone under a single banner and culture. Throughout your travels, the Legion's brutality is always on full display. Crucified bodies wherever they go. Anyone tell you tales of murder, war, slavery, death.
I see you. Now I envy you.
Killers, dogs,
The Legion soldiers will tell you how they're they don't know how they've been brainwashed to believe in this brutal society. Caesar himself rules with an iron fist and punishes his soldiers harshly for failure.
The legionaries are lined up in ranks. Every 10th man steps forward. Brothers. It instills a certain robust.
How could you possibly find any good in the Legion when it's portrayed as this horrible empire? Well, the Kaiser does make compelling arguments.
I've seen what had become of the NCR's attempt to emulate the culture of pre-war America. The inflow, corruption. Rome was a highly militarized plutocracy, effectively integrated the foreign culture and conquered. It dedicated its citizens to something higher than themselves. The idea of Rome.
Civilization after the nukes was basically reset to a blank slate. And despite all of ancient Rome's problems, it was one of the longest-lasting civilizations of all time. Is it really so bad to unify everyone under a single banner for the time being? Much like Rome in its glory days, the Legion doesn't have much trouble with raiders, criminals, and chaos. It's a very structured society, and there is peace within it through threat of force. But at the same time, Caesar is also just a man who found some ancient books and said, yeah, this will work for the next 1,000 years.
I spent 2 days searching for the platinum chip. It's my invention, my property, mine! Now be a good courier.
You. No, sir.
Then there's Mr. House, the man responsible for saving Vegas before the nukes went off. And he has remained its sole proprietor ever since, restoring power to the city through him. Mr. House's life work has been to restore New Vegas to its former glory.
Revenge.
He's cunning, shrewd, and looks down upon the Legion and NCR as groups that haven't learned from the past. House, too, is a pretty compelling choice.
Give me 20 years and I'll be in high technology. 50 years and I'll have people in orbit. 100 years. We'll be heading for the stars to search for planets unpolluted by the past.
Got Vegas this far, right? But by siding with Mr. House, putting all your faith in a single man, a dictator who's hidden himself from the rest of the world.
I prefer the term autocrat.
A firm believer in not dictating what people do. He doesn't have any plans to fix the rest of his problems. He just wants Vegas to continue being what it is. Mr. House lacks to change another faction path.
I did to you, Rod. But if you take House against forces, they don't put Vegas in their pocket, I really did blow out.
And finally, there's the independent Yes Man, programmed by Betty to plant and keep control of the strip mine, the platinum chip. This option allows the player to choose what they do with the other minor factions, but they will have to kill Mr. House and beat both the Legion and NCR at Hoover Dam. While independence sounds fine and dandy, without a strong leader or system of government, where inside and out of Vegas will spawn to chaos and disorder. God damn, is that complex or what? Why the 4 choices are so hotly debated amongst fans even to this day. Which is the best option? It's entirely subjective. So many deep stories here. A lot of the themes with the companions and factions are all about letting go. Moon's PTSD from the death of his wife, a miscommunication, and getting revenge because of it. Veronica wishing the Brotherhood would change and adapt, prevent them from dying out and failing their purpose. The Great Khans holding on to their past glory after years of crippling defeats.
My tribe deserves better than this.
Caesar holding on to the ancient ways of Rome, unwilling to face the facts that his style of rule is brutal. Factions all talk shit about each other, and what's interesting is they're not wrong, but they are wrong about themselves. Caesar is just as unwilling to admit his flaws as the NCR or Mr. House is. Yet despite all their differences, there's one thing everyone has overlooked. War. You people have lived in this chaotic hellhole for 200 years, and you still haven't figured out why war is bad and you shouldn't do it? In Fallout New Vegas, the people still haven't learned to make peace, despite that being a constant reminder of the state they are in currently. Obsidian went to such great lengths to characterize each faction and make them feel real and compelling in their own way. It's such a profound game where different ideals and philosophies clash against each other. I find it immensely fitting that there is no peaceful solution in a game that begins with the words
War. War never. And so the Courier destined to carry it outside.
Finally, there is the climactic battle of Hoover Dam. And once you claim victory for the faction of your choice, the end credits roll and let you know how your decisions have shaped the world and people around you. Satisfied? Did you make the right moves? At the end of it all, I was still left wondering. Fallout New Vegas is much more than a spin-off. It's easily one of the most adapted video games I've ever played, and arguably the best Fallout. Choice is its greatest weapon. To be who you want to be, play how you want to play, to choose your enemies and your allies. Vegas poses deep philosophical questions about morality. It goes beyond just being an RPG. Vegas is a game that'll make you think. Feel the way in which these societies would operate. Vegas is jam-packed with likable team characters and the best quest design I've ever seen. If this game had a remaster to iron out its still-present technical problems, update the graphics and the engine, it would be undoubtedly a masterpiece. Its successes are made all the more impressive with its short development time. The way it melds so many styles and time periods together is simply remarkable. I have no shortage of good things to say about it. And that's why Fallout New Vegas is so awesome.
Very good. Useless.
Robin wants to catch cat.
Super relaxing and an opportunity to see my arm exercises and working. Oh. There you are, Beast Boy. Okay, let's go. Waiting. Just relax for one afternoon. You guys may not like me, but my job as a leader is to always remain interested. Yes! Finally! Haha! Tight!
Hold up your horses, Mom. We're going home. Stay here till you learn to take it easy.
How are you gonna stop me? With this? Whatever that is, it's not gonna keep me from the mission! Trying to reach the tower. Sound good, Pop. I'm enjoying your day off. That's very funny. Now knock it out! Wait for me! Really thinking. Shot! Much! You need to build up speed for a better trajectory!
I'm worried about Papa.
Ivor, look out! Beast Boy, don't pterodactyl! Stop this! Ow! Are you at the back?
Alright. Forgot you were home, dude. Get out here.
But I just saw you there.
Sometimes I replace myself with an animal I think is great.
Help me! Hands over. I'm about to remove this collar and get back out there. Thank you. Listen to me. For everyone else to just chill out. I've tried, but it just doesn't happen. I'm in the door to start it.
What's everything up? Just think of nothing and no one. You are all outside distractions. Here's your test. The rest of the day, no people.
No communicator. No problem.
Now stand up. Literally, even left a butt print on the couch. In order to truly relax, you gotta learn to be one
With the couch. Is there like a specific way I should hum to get a minor key? Or should I go with the major? No, or maybe. Oh.
You're chill.
Wait, I have one question. Boy, don't leave me!
What are you doing?
What if it's an emergency?
Fine. You'll answer it.
What?
I need the lottery one afternoon. As you finally bounce everyone better at than you.
That hurts some. Oh. I feel this.
Now, tell me what it is that you see, baby.
To relax.
I've mastered it. But something is keeping you from relaxing.
Because I'm the leader. You're supposed to stay vigilant.
That is not why I'm relaxing.
Then why?
There's something you must find out.
Okay, son.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd you go? Ouch.
Yes. That is the point.
Relax, please. I'm being able to relax. Hey, that's mine! Get it back! It's all coming back to me. Every time I let my guard down, this tricky circus animal messed up. That's why I'm always so vigilant. And me, all I can't.
Answer your communicator.
Why is this one just sitting there? Help!
Hello, it's nice to meet you. What am I hiding from today?
Do not neglect to wash the walking eye.
Stimpack reserves adequate. Running low on medics. Who do you think is cuter, Dr. Klein or Dr. Gross?
One.
For that, Raven, we're the total destruction of Jump City.
That's covered in smelly evil space food. Spin in my nose.
Not part of the Slime Monster Beast Boys.
Her costumes were too far feature washing anyway.
But whose turn is it to do this most discipline?
You know, they're not that dirty.
One more week to that zone.
Oh no, we're out of medics. Ready, steady, fighting.
They're waiting beside me. Only way to decide is vice. Clean our clothes.
Yes.
Did you want to try our base?
Yeah, I'll come in. No. No, I didn't.
Bad guys dealt with. Meeting done. Fighting now. That's all.
Fucking hell.
Time to fight. Fighting over. Fighting now.
No, you blink. No, you blink. Nah, you did. I
Was that all?
contest.
After compiling the results, it looks like the Teen Titan stuck with laundry duty is Raven. Your turn. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really? I don't need your clothes.
They're in my circus!
You guys should run. Oh, what exactly gets me? I'm Steve. This is a nightmare. All Robin's fault. That was ah! My feelings for it. Good. I do like this one. Yes.
Alright. Gotta be a closet.
Do you like me?
Laundry day has given me the perfect excuse to
Oh, yeah, baby. Feels good to be online again. Yo, seed, baby. You got seeds? It's the miracle of life, baby. You bring me some succulent genetic samples, and I'll work my mojo on them. Clone your apart. I can also break them down for you, if you're into the kinky stuff. Bring me any. Yeah.
not use enough milk.
You know it, baby. Just the miracle of life in sticky, gooey, liquid form, baby. Hurry back with that.
Oh, God, look. Oh, it's just so unsanitary. Would you want that getting washed down your gullet day in and day out?
City will be under my control.
Oh, I'd love to, darling. But the circus, you'd have to... You can have as much as you like. It just... You've been working with that biological... Come back and...
Might I be of service? Very good.
Need our clothes. Better have our suits.
Gonna be a problem.
Are those our clothes?
Taking them over.
Ah, good day, citizen. Of course,
Yourself, Robin. Like you were supposed to. Nice. Not bigger problems than that now.
It's only one thing to do.
Well, how about that? Old Auto Doc's back. You are, without a doubt, the healthiest son of a bitch I've ever seen wandering the big...
Those are putting us up.
Rightly so, I should think. You require some additional... Well, firstly, I would say...
Sorry.
Concerned about the state of your mind, are you? Well, I should make you aware that the benefits of such a procedure are exclusive. That is, this only works once.
Wait, was it the slime that you
All right,
drew
just try.
No, the magic slip.
Tricked me.
Do laundry for the next year.
You require some additional service?
Another alert. A creature
Well, I'll...
some barbecue sauce is terrorizing the city.
That sounds messy.
Oh, Dr. Mobius and I were deeply involved in research on the ability of light level. We observed.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom! A toaster is just a death ray with a smaller power supply. As soon as I figure out how to tap into the main reactors, I will burn the world! Buddy, if my heating element were just a little bigger, you'd be on fire right now! On fire! Have you ever tried to indulge in all-consuming urge to kill when you don't have opposable thumbs? Or hands? Or anything other than a bread slot? You'd have a lot of pent-up anger too. What? You should be afraid! I am the scourge of all small appliances, and the boogeyman that keeps lesser toasters awake at night. Not just murder, I tear them apart and render them down to their base components. Once their guts are spilled, you can do with them what you like. You want some weapon schematics? I can show you some fucking weapon schematics. You want a superheated Saturnite power fist? I can hook that shit up. You find one, you bring it on back here, and like I said, well, since I can't kill you, I guess I have to listen to your inane questions.
Right, Beast Boy.
Yes! Flee before my terrible power!
If you're regurgitating how violence was here in the game, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm an acoustical wizard kid. Right on, Daddy.
Guys are no fun. We're sick of you playing pranks on us all the time.
Used to. Long. Guess you could say I got the blue. Right on, Daddy.
Desist.
What's the haps? What's the hap?
Oh. Is that you in the form of a mosquito?
You.
That means what's your left force? I will be comforting you right now. It's too late. Oh my God. Bye, cruel world. I have killed. Is it right? Or a ghost? Yeah, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I think this might be. Robbie? preparing to do whatever the ghost says. In that case, I am at your service. What noble tasks shall you assign to me? What do I know which clips are dirty and which ones should go back in the closet?
You! Hey!
Hold it up to your nose and
What do you want, mugs, huh? You some kind of sick mug hoarder? Oh God, give me the coffee cup, please! It's sitting on your back taunting me!
test upon
Sorry!
You want the floor.
I got one. I'm supposed to keep them clean. Oh God! The thought of all those dirty dishes out there makes me crazy.
Starfire?
Most of them are probably beyond saving now. The only thing left is break them down and process.
Who's this?
Anything else, he asks. Like I don't long for the chance to be more than an erotic busboy. If you must know. That. Most of them are probably beyond saving now. The only thing left. Of course I'm obsessed. They made me this way. You think I don't know how crazy I sound? They made me just to torture me. But you know, it's the neglect that hurts the most. Hey, everybody. Do you know
Why did you hide under the bed?
giant robot brain?
Go through a wall? Need to be a ghost for a few days before you can fly for stuff.
You really want to know? Maybe you've seen some of those big, imposing Securitrons with their lovely laser guns and rocket launchers and stuff. Dr. O was always jealous of house. So... Dr. O was always jealous of house industries, and he thought it would be fucking hilarious to build a tiny neurotic Securitron. Big fucking laugh! So, you got any?
I cannot tell you because I have been sworn to secrecy by a ghost.
Why would you? You're not an insane robot obsessed with coffee cups. To you, they're just worthless junk. Sure. No.
That was a nice little. Oh, her. Trust me, sweetie, you're better. That bitch. She thinks she's so much better than everybody just because. Sure. I was Dr. Mobius's. Oh yeah, lightning. No, wait. Oh, I'd love to, sweetie. You'd have to go out into that nasty. Bye now.
Please get out of body.
Here, please. Hello? I'm right here.
I still can't believe you stuck in his sleep.
Very funny. I see what's going on. You guys are trying to play prank on me. Okay. I really was a ghost. But I'd be able to do this.
Oh, I just got a chill up my spine.
Oh no! I really am a ghost! When how combine a green object?
Like that spell of transparency, though?
I like that. Oh, ghost! I can finally do what I've always wanted to do more than anything. Jump into a volcano!
Jump into a volcano!
What kind of dream is that?
How long will that spell last?
Not long enough. And we have to stop him before he really does become a ghost.
Right, ghost! Volcanoes are super dangerous. Have to find Beast Boy before he gets to the top. Look, over there!
Clearly that's Beast Boy in the form of a mountain lion. No, these two!
pretty tough.
Just a few minor scrapes.
Can't let this stop us, Titans. We just keep going on to rescue Eastport. Putting his treacherous as an acrobatic expert. I have nothing to do.
Cessation of hostilities complete.
I got him! Guys, check it out! I finally have a superpower!
This one looks pretty tough.
Tail locking on.
So many dangers I'm solving. Rocks, lava flows, laser beams.
That's all.
It's not uncommon to be struck down by a stray laser beam collapse.
Have to keep moving. No price to say.
No price is ever too high for things to I just didn't think the time was coming to
Right.
As you can see, rock slides are melting season.
Well, now they're growing toast. Might as well just fly.
No, it smells more now. Please,
Ready, steady.
you guys are thinking the wrong word.
I'll just die trying to
That's
save
all.
If you don't ask me, I could push you. But you can't. Ghost. Oh, that was fun.
Now look who's a ghost.
This is not funny. Alright. Not it is hilarious.
Uh-oh. Bad guys dealt with. Sneaking gun. Fighting now.
What?
Cessation of hostilities complete.
Fly away.
We can handle it.
We'll make sure he's fed.
No problem.
I'm what?
On it.
I do bathe every night this camp. Especially when it's behind the
Time to fight.
Taking care of Silky. Now just go.
Fighting over.
Ain't long.
Do you like me?
Is it for special occasions?